Hey guys, welcome to a June 30 edition of Money in Politics. And tonight we're, of course, going to be reviewing the investment call that we just had from Brian Foote. When he kept saying, I was a little confused by this, he was saying, talking about our first quarter. To me, it's the end of the second quarter. So I don't know why he said that. But either way, we're going to be talking about what he said. And I would say that we have had in this call a heck of a lot of information. It was a longer call, which he acknowledged, Brian did. But he said he wanted to get a lot of information out there, not only about what has been accomplished in the here to date, but as well as he wants to get out some of the things that are going to be coming up on different things. One of the things that was announced today, which I thought was kind of interesting earlier in the day before the call, is that they put out on a tweet that Humbl had acquired a hospitality wing, had acquired their first rental property. So what they're basically looking to do, which frankly I had missed this if anyone else had known about it before. They're looking to have almost like a Airbnb type of operation, and they're going to be getting into a number of those, which, by the way, of course, are very good in terms of cash flow. And I think that's certainly one of the things that Brian's going to be or was talking about and is looking to expand on. Let me play a little bit here of this one clip. This runs about a minute, but he's talking a bit about this and why he thinks this, would be a good thing.
70% plus of millennials want out-of-the-box rentals, meaning not big box hotels. And there's a shortage, there's a physical supply shortage right now of vacation income rental producing properties that fit the next generation of customers. So we are going to get in the game on that. We have stock that we can put to work and look forward to doing that. So, we are in the mindset of either build it or buy it, and we're going to do both and do whatever it takes to get to the finish line on tokenizing these very simple behaviors on blockchain so that the customer gets less scared of blockchain. They see how empowering it can be up and down the price band. It's going to open up new trading markets. It's going to empower the global economy. Primary GDP issues in a number of countries are things like reducing the cost of sending and using money, improving title and registry on land.
So guys, leave me a message and let me know, what do you think about what you heard? Were you disappointed in anything? Were you happy with what you heard? Overall, I thought it was an excellent discussion of where we were. I thought Brian did a very good job. One of the things, and I want to throw out a compliment to him, that I thought he did exceptionally well in this call, better than some of the previous calls, is he just used less jargon. I thought it was just much easier. In 99% of the time, it was very easy to understand what he was talking about. And so I would hope that he would continue on that. I would encourage you all to look at the full video. It runs close to an hour, but here's some of the highlights. He is very keen on Tickery, and we mentioned this the other day, that he was focusing on the ticketing industry. And he said he wants to hit $100 million in revenue on ticketing by the end of this year. And he said that he is going to do that either with what they already have with Tickery but he's also looking to expand and buy a new ticketing company too. He's just that keen on it. And he said that everyone in the ticketing business right now, the industry, is on fire in a way, because it's just like people have tired of being locked up and they want to get out there. There's all kinds of groups, musical groups and the rest, that want to get out there, and they haven't been able to be performing in front of the audiences. So anyway, ticketing's a big deal. The other thing is he wanted to be looking at crypto, and he was looking at what Alibaba, and they're basically looking to be able to duplicate what Alipay is. If you don't know Alibaba, it is a company started by Jack Ma, who went from being a poor Chinese teacher to one of the richest men in the world. So Brian Foote is looking at that very much. And then the other thing that he was talking about is the upgrade to the app. Now, one of the things that might be a disappointment is he had said that where maybe a lot of people were looking for to have the peer-to-peer application, that there's a number of problems in there, and some of the problems are not just technical, they're legal problems, and that if you don't watch what you're doing, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. So they're really watching the risk to the company, which you would expect them to be doing, and thanks for doing that. But he talked about the upgrade here, and kind of some of the improvements that they have made to the app already.
This is going to look so slick. We heard you want better UX, better UI. We went and got A-grade guys and gals from Silicon Valley. So Cynthia, Adrian, these are people who are thinking through the product at a Silicon Valley grade level to present you with something that is worth your time, your dollars, your data. So it's going to look amazing. And the functionality is going to be intuitive. It's going to be in 1 or 2 clicks. It's going to simplify blockchain for people, and it's going to give us that modular application development cycle that we can layer on top of sensibly instead of incurring a bunch of tech debt just to get it to the market because, some obscure anonymous account on Twitter said they wanted peer-to-peer yesterday and not tomorrow.
He acknowledged, it's interesting that Brian is certainly paying attention to a lot of the things that we, the retail investors, the holders of Humbl stock, what we are saying. And he is addressing that. He says he knows he wants to get the ETXs. He wants to expand the offering of what's on the ETXs. And he says he wants to get that down. They're working hard to get that all down to like 1 click. Process to make it simplified. He said they're expanding their merchant sales both in Brazil and Chile. They're really looking to do that. He talked about also, which I thought, he's talked about before, but it's interesting that, again, just that what he sees is that this trend in digital payments is just going to be so good for the growth of the second and third world countries. And then the other thing is he was talking at some point about some of the problems that had come up, some of the criticism that had come up, and he went out of his way to kind of say, look, let me give you the update on the scorecard for those of you who have been critical of what I've been doing.
In terms of CEO scorecards, I just want to, again, there's a little bit of chatter right now around the Bs, and I want to be really clear on this. I welcome you to put up any other CEO in the stock market against this scorecard. Go for it. It's not going to happen. So shares sold, 0, salary, $1, common shares retired, 551 million pre-split. That means they're gone, okay, from the float, gone, at my expense. So you can do the math. Common shares converted from float to preferred, 318 million plus. Okay. And then I've offered to and will do, and I'll put this on a blockchain registry, lock up those preferred B shares that I own through the end of 2022. So eliminate those from any mathematical dilution equation that you're doing through the end of 2022 from my end. So go ahead and do that. And then in terms of stock performance, there you have it in terms of how we're doing at the helm so far as a CEO.
And I got to say, I think when you look at the job that Brian Foote has been doing, when I look at what they have accomplished already, I'm frankly amazed at all the things that they are doing in terms of just getting the infrastructure of the company up. They just moved to a new headquarters. You got to worry about all that kind of stuff. He's also he's done the closures. on Monster, getting the NFTs going, getting the ETXs going, looking now to getting the app out and making the improvements, working with a number of different advisors that he was mentioning. Rob Luna, of course, we heard from just recently, but that they have others that he's working with. And the big push in the future really is going to be really on a number of fronts. It's going to be, obviously, as we talked about on ticketing, it's going to be an expansion on the tokenization of assets. And that I think is going to be one of the most fascinating things. I was looking at my notes here. One of the most fascinating things as we go forward and all the development on that. And then as we had the clip here on an Airbnb type operation, I will tell you that a number of the big banks nationwide have been going out and buying up single family homes to rent out. So you might go, why are they doing that? Folks, a lot of people are doing that because you're going to have a hard asset. If we go into inflationary times, which people think we will, you want to have hard assets because they, A, go up in value, and B, doing the Airbnb kind of operation here where they're buying, did their first closure on one that they would rent out for short term. That also presents great cash flow, as does the ticketing, as we talked about. And then, of course, all the rest that we're going to get into on the peer-to-peer that's coming on down the road. But relative to the job that Brian is doing, I got to say that I think he's just been doing, frankly, an awful lot in a short amount of time. And I think that his time, I'm reading between the lines, is now still very busy and will remain busy, but freed up from a lot of the functional things that you had to do in the very beginning, getting people to, get the doors literally open and get some of the paperwork and licenses and just the different things you do going through the structuring of the business when you get it up. And of course, one of the things that he's been able to do is bring in bring in new and very talented people. And he talked about that and the sacrifices the team is making.
I want to just lastly thank you guys for making us one of, if not the most followed blockchain brand in the world. Clearly, our story is resonating with what we're building here at Humbl. This is absolutely not Brian.com. We have an incredible team. Okay, we have almost 25 full-time people, 35 to 50 other contractors that you don't see, of very hyper-talented people in technology, design, product, project management, operations. These are people from very mixed skill sets, whether it's, Jose from social media, from Twitter at social media. You have Glenn Shaw coming in from the defense and aerospace sector. Like, we have just an amazing amalgamation of people here at our business, right? And co-founders, and Michelle and Karen and Jeff, that quit really good jobs, put their money on the wood, and risked everything to come and work at this business pretty much for free for a pretty long time.
One of the things that we have to be proud of is the team that he's been able to put together. And I'm so impressed with all the things that he has his fingers on the pulse of, and that he is so globally minded. So I think Brian brings not just the technical talent that he has on this whole new blockchain technology, but the way he is focused around the world and making, I think, Humbl on a course of being one of the new great companies that we will continue to follow. Follow me on Twitter if you would. And again, give me your comments under the videos, and give me your comments if you want to on my email. And we have that, again, at moneyandpoliticsnow@gmail.com. I was trying to grab the photograph here, but he has also, don't forget that we have coming up the investors meeting, if you want to go to, in Nashville, and that will be in September, between September 24 to September 26. So they got a couple of things on there. The let me move along to the full video. Again, this was about 55 minutes long, a lot of information. I just kind of scratched the surface here in telling you about this here. But you go to humblpay.com to their website, go up to investors, and you'll find the full video will be posted there, so you can check that out. All right, folks, I think what we are on going to be continuing on a bit of a roller coaster ride, because Humbl is a target of the shorts. But with what I see increasing positive news coming out, I think we're going to be getting the stock moving again and going up as we get these obvious developments coming out. So in the meantime, I hope you're going to be holding onto your optimism. I look forward to continuing to bring you coverage of this very interesting and exciting company, as well as some of the other great companies. Even Brian, I thought was funny today, said, you don't want to have all your money in one company, or words to that effect. So in the meantime, take care. We'll be seeing you again tomorrow night.